On today's episode of the Driven Mad podcast, we ask 3 questions from the week. Recent tyre testing. What does it mean? What does it mean for the future of F1? Who knows? What does Red Bull think of their copycats? Ferrari's come out with a side pod very similar. Mercedes has side pods now. What do they think? We talk about that in the episode. And should Lewis Hamilton stay at Mercedes? Contract talks recently. We're going to dive into that in this episode of the Driven Mad podcast. That and much more coming up. Hello and welcome to the Driven Mad podcast in partnership with Sports Illustrated. My name's Alex Harrington and this, to my left, is Lydia me.
Hello, and if you like what we're saying, please do give us a follow on socials. So I'm at Lydia me F1. He is at Alex does F1. And while you're there, give F1 F4 a follow for all the latest news.
Yeah, definitely. Before we jump in though, please make sure you subscribe to this podcast. We're on your favourite podcast providers. iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube. We're on a bit of everything, so find us there and we'll say hello.
Hello.
Anyway, before we jump into the story, how are you doing? It's hot. It's hot in England.
It's hot. The lights aren't helping, I lie.
We are going to get sweaty in this video, I feel.
Shiny upper lip.
Yeah, we're going to have a tissue break. Oh, no. Oh, a tissue break. We can't do that. But we have studio lighting and they are getting warm already and they've been on for like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's humid. It's a bit...
But it's nice. I don't want to complain.
No, we won't complain.
We don't want to be typical.
Yeah, we've had some storms. Kind of typical of Miami. It's not Miami. But it feels, we miss Miami greatly. But yeah, first story of the day. Mick Schumacher went tyre testing, didn't he? What's going on with that?
So yeah, it was the Pirelli tyre testing 2 days last week in Barcelona. And Mick managed to get out of the simulator and into the W14.
Finally.
152 laps on day 2. So
that's a lot of laps.
He's an eager beaver.
I was thinking about this because we did an SMMT test day and we did quite a bit of driving and it was nothing like F1 driving, was it? It's nothing like the G-forces, but afterwards I felt sick.
Well, I felt more sick because I was filming you the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
But is that comparable?
No, but surely an F1 car is worse.
Yeah, he did say that he felt it physically afterwards. Obviously, it's been...
Surprised.
God, how long has it been since he's been in an F1 car? So...
Not actually that long. If you class the Haas as an F1 car.
Well, yeah, then years and years. No, joking.
Oh, yeah, it hasn't been that long. He only came out of Haas last season.
Yeah, but
I mean, your fitness suddenly tails off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I would know, because I'm very fit.
And you're practically a racing driver with all the simulator work you do.
I put a lot of hours in on the sim. F1 22, baby. Yeah. But anyway.
Be the same thing. On top of Mick going out, obviously it was another opportunity for Pirelli to test their new cold tyres. So the tyres without tyre blankets, which will be coming... 2024. Yeah.
This is important because F1, in a bid to try and reduce their emissions, reduce the costs, we've got a cost cap now, which is very difficult to stay under, as we found a couple of years ago. This is a big step for F1. Removing the tyre blankets entirely is actually, it's gonna shake the nests of the pigeons. That's not a saying, but you made it up on the spot.
Yeah, that's nice. Keep that.
I mean, I wouldn't shake the nests of pigeons because I'd probably go for the eyes. But this is really interesting because it's a huge step for F1 in reducing cost, improving their sustainability. Yep. But F1 drivers are against this, aren't they? Because they're going, look, if we have no heat in our tyres, it's just going to be incredibly dangerous. There's going to be no grip. And they're going to go full pelt and they're going to crash. And we saw that actually, didn't we, in IndyCar? They found it very difficult because they went out with no heat in their tyres straight to a flying lap.
Yeah.
They found it hard. But Pirelli is saying, no, don't worry about it. We've got this under control. I mean, that's the main thing. They're trying to get cut. They're trying to become more sustainable. Yeah. And this is a huge thing in reducing costs and improving sustainability. Those are the main two objectives.
Yeah.
If Bridgestone come in, please do. I want...
Do you?
Yeah, of course I do.
Interesting.
I want a tyre battle back. That's the thing, like, you know, teams will have to decide which tyre to go for. Just adds another layer of strategy, adds another layer of, you know, and two different tyre manufacturers bring two, hopefully, very different strategies for each race. And that's the main thing we're missing right now. Every race is a one-stop. And it's just the most frustrating thing. It's just boring. It's just boring. Look at the races we've had so far. They've been dull. They have been. They have been.
Would I say that about Australia?
No, but you can't. That's a very different thing.
It wasn't dull.
It wasn't dull, but you can't say it's exciting because of the crashes. Because that's not racing. That's
No, I get what you're saying, but I also wouldn't say that the races, all of the races, have been dull.
no. And
A fair few of them, maybe.
Yeah, a fair few. I'm walking a fine line because not every race can be exciting.
Yeah.
You know, that is just the way the sport goes. That's the way every sport goes. You can't have every football match exciting. Actually, you have very few football matches that are exciting. But
In your humble opinion.
but I feel like changing up strategy, you know, Spain had really different strategies for each team. And that made it so much more exciting.
Monaco.
Yeah, actually Monaco as well. When it started raining, that was great. It was the changes in strategy that made it so exciting and put the drivers on edge almost, didn't it? Because the drivers were questioning whether they were doing the right thing. The teams were also questioning it. And you had this almost kind of interesting dynamic where everyone was doubting themselves, which was really great. Apart from Red Bull.
Max was just there.
I mean, they'd already finished by that point. They were having coffees in the bloody
I mean, their strategy is just on point, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, getting back to the tyres, this is very exciting because, look, F1 is changing. And without heated tyre blankets, it will add another layer of interest because the cars will go out and they will have, as you'd expect, cold tyres, which means the car will have such a varying level of performance through the race. But Pirelli have said, after testing in Bahrain, that the tyres actually switched on after just 4 corners. So switched on to operating temperature. I mean, that's not half bad, is it?
No, I mean, obviously that's track specific.
Obviously, yeah, of course.
That isn't as bad as you'd maybe expect it to be. I mean, I was going to say, obviously they wouldn't do it if it's dangerous. In my opinion.
No, I think the FIA are so afraid of danger.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they're going to be safe tyres.
Yeah.
But if they can add a little spice in there, that would be good.
Well, oil. It's WD-40.
Bit of oil. I thought you said they're loyal. I was like, you were completely lost me.
Bit of WD-40. This race is sponsored by the Fun Makers.
Take slicks to a whole new level. Just make it a slip and slide.
Yeah. No, it's good. And you know, I think what's more important to take from this is, you know, 2024, that's so far off. No, it's not. Oh my God, no, it's not. It's next year.
Months away.
For me, the more important thing is Mick Schumacher's back in the car.
Yeah.
And this is great because he has been working his bollocks off.
Yeah.
Like, he has been showing Mercedes what he's got.
Yeah.
Simulator work ahead of the race. And then he flies out, for the Friday, for the Saturday?
Yeah.
He gets, no sleep. He's been working really, really hard.
Yeah.
But the fact that he can link his simulator training with real-world driving and show that he knows what he's doing, that is really valuable to Mercedes now.
Yeah.
And they must be thinking, okay, if something does go wrong, we have someone we can rely on.
Yeah.
And other teams will be thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
AlphaTauri has already said that they are kind of interested in Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
But it was Red Bull that told them to not do it and to go for Nick de Vries instead. So maybe we could see Mick Schumacher back on the grid.
The only thing is, what seats are actually going to be available this year? There's not as many opportunities.
Haas seems to shake things up a lot.
They need to just give the drivers time.
Oh yeah,
they have no
it's like two races. No, we're keeping everything open mind, and the racers are like, what are we driving for?
But obviously, there's Nick de Vries. That's a possibility. Logan Sargent has been mentioned. Williams.
Mick Schumacher in a Williams under
James Vowles.
James Vowles.
With Alex Albon.
Oh, that's what dreams are made of. Oh, that'd be great.
Other than that,
Not a great car for him to be driving. But right now, does he deserve a really great car?
he
not
just needs
so
to
sure.
get back in a seat.
Yeah.
I don't
Does he need to
think-
though? I actually really like him as in this reserve driver role.
No, yeah, he's very good at it, obviously. But his goal is to get back into the...
Yeah. I'd like to see him in a car. I want to know what kind of, obviously very different variables. But I'd like to see what kind of lap times
the
he
lap
pulled out.
times he did, yeah.
Apparently he was very quick.
Yeah.
I read reports that he was very quick. So, maybe. I'd like to see him in a good car and see what he can do, but he needs to prove himself. He has not proved himself. The performance in Haas was unreliable, to say the least.
Yeah, I was trying to think of another word, but yeah.
They probably spent more on car repairs than they did his salary. Oh, they must have. Surely they must have.
Yeah. Wasn't one crash like 500,000?
Oh, more than that.
Was it? Oh no, it was 1 million, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
That was one where it was basically...
the chassis split in half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good fun.
We'll move on anyway. But yeah, even Lewis and George were both, after the Spanish Grand Prix, they were like, we couldn't have done that
Without Schumacher.
without Mick.
Yeah. No, I think Mercedes are on. I think they have a great team. Not so much a great car, and we'll get onto that. I think. Yes, we'll get onto that later on in this podcast. But they have a great team. Mercedes have always had a great team. That's why they are so good.
Yeah.
And Toto Wolff, he knows how to. I'm not going to say he knows how to run a team because I wouldn't class him as a team principal. He's a business owner.
Yeah.
And he knows how to structure a business.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's done so well. And yeah, he's put it together a great team. Mick Schumacher is a testament to that team. So well done, you, Mick. That was the most
Patronising
thing I've ever said. Sorry. Don't mean like that, I promise. Red Bull copycats. There's quite a few of them now.
Yeah, obviously they had the further opportunity in Monaco, seeing the underneath of Perez's car.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah.
And even a few of the teams since then have said that they are they'd be stupid not to study it, wouldn't they?
Oh, they have photographers all over the place.
Yeah.
To be honest, they would have seen the floor before Monaco. Definitely.
Yeah. You can just imagine them on one of those little, what are they called, where mechanics slide,
Oh, yeah.
like creeping around.
Oh. Total Wolff on a skate.
They'll never catch me.
Miss your floor. Now let me get some pumpernickel. You've got.
Your accent probably needs a bit of work, but I liked the...
What the?
I'm not even going to try it. But anyway, so obviously Ferrari brought in their new side pods, which are very Red Bull-esque.
Yes, even they've admitted
Yeah.
that they are Red Bull inspired.
Mercedes now have side pods.
Yeah, but they also changed their front suspension, which again is Red Bull, Aston Martin inspired. And Aston Martin, we're forgetting like the major ones. They literally stole people from Red Bull.
Yeah.
And said, can you just Red Bullify your Aston Martin, please?
But that's... So Adrian Newey spoke about it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he said that it's a serious compliment when people copy. It's part of F1, of course. We all look at each other. In truth, we have copied things from other people as well. And he also said that copying can be from just looking at the other cars, but also from engineers and employees moving from team to team.
Yeah, like this is
Aston Martin.
Yeah, this isn't new in F1. People are like, oh my God, they're copying. What do you think happens every single season?
Yeah.
Like, it's just part of it. When someone's in the lead, of course you're going to go, what makes that car so fast?
Yeah, they're gaining information. But I don't think Red Bull are threatened by it at all because
No. If their competitors were closer, then they would look at some sort of action.
Piping up a bit.
There's no point right now.
No.
No, not worth the admin.
No. And Paul Monaghan, Red Bull's chief engineer, he said an ignorant copy isn't necessarily going to go faster. It has to integrate, and it's not just a bit of flawed geometry.
Ouch. Ouch. Well, yeah, I mean, that is a thing as well. Like, Adrian Newey said years ago, this was years ago, as the ground effect regulations were literally just unveiled, he said, when we're a couple of years into these new regulations, all the cars are going to look the same.
Yeah.
Because there aren't many things that can actually be changed on the car. There's not a lot you can do. There's not a lot of movement.
Apart from remove the sidebar.
Yeah, I mean, that was a loophole. Still necessarily a good loophole. But I mean, even Adrian was like, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Not going to do it myself.
Didn't they consider it at one point? And then very quickly were like, no.
Yeah, they looked closely at it, and he was impressed that they were able to find that loophole. Obviously, the performance didn't impress him much.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Adrian knew, he said, look, when we get down to it, the cars are going to be so similar, there are going to be slight details change. And he was exactly right. And this was years ago.
Yeah, well,
He's a genius.
he is a genius.
But no, I mean, this thing happens all the time. We are going to see more and more Red Bulls pop up. I mean, well, the regulations changing in 2026. There's not a lot that they can do. Actually, no, there's loads they can do.
Do you think it's more of a concern to the team, the personnel leaving, rather than the other teams being able to see the car? Because they seem to be losing.
Yeah, and they've said it's a worry.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're losing their expertise.
And I suppose they've said as well, I think Christian Horner said that it's partly to do with the cost cap. They can't afford
Yeah.
keep.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. No, I mean, it's a real worry that... Because now, even McLaren, who are, pretty much a failing team right now, they've stolen...
Sorry, strong words that caught me.
The numbers speak for themselves.
I'll maybe argue that another time. I'll let you finish your point.
Or no, what? Just quickly on McLaren. Bad cars, great drivers.
Yeah, but
Okay,
we're just going to argue.
Go on.
Okay,
Go on.
it's fine.
Go on.
I disagree, but that's fine.
You think the McLarens are good cars?
I don't think they're better than they were. I think the upgrades that they've brought in...
Not difficult.
The upgrades that they've brought in have significantly improved it. They're getting up in the mix there a bit. Top 10. I mean, it's not where they wanted to be. But if you look at them from the start of the season, even last season, they are making improvements. And, with Rob Marshall...
Oh, yeah. Au revoir.
Hopefully they'll jump up even more.
Yeah, so Rob Marshall, the chief engineering officer from Red Bull, has been poached. Poached, I say, by McLaren. And that is exciting because Rob Marshall was a real pivotal part of the personnel of Red Bull.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very interesting to see how McLaren utilizes this. Whether McLaren is just going to turn into another Red Bull copy.
Are we going to have another Aston Martin?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. Potentially. I'm more excited about next year than this year, actually.
Yeah.
Because right now Red Bull have such a lead.
Yeah.
And the other teams are still in that phase of learning.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Let's write off this year. We know who's going to win. Let's write it off.
Let's not do that because we want to keep our jobs.
Oh, good point. Yeah, we need to write and stuff. So let's keep on with the races.
Yeah.
More races. There are talks of 30 races.
I know. We'll go grey if that happens.
What do you mean go?
I know, found your first grey hair the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, getting old. But no, interesting. Right now, Red Bull's not going to be bothered. They don't care. But when the cars start getting close, that's when we'll start getting a few kind of mentions from Christian Horner. He's already said he's noticed Mercedes are doing these upgrades. You know what he said? He was like, "What about the cost cap?"
I know, just sprinkled that in there.
That's rich, mate.
Yeah.
Nice sandwiches. Come on.
I know, someone catering's like this year.
Yeah, someone who literally has no proven track record sticking to his cost cap has given advice about sticking to a cost cap.
Well, he knows exactly what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's just making
stirring the pot.
Be like, oh, actually, maybe, and then they're going to be
damaging the brand.
Yeah. But
Horner, when all that cost cap stuff came out, that's so difficult to say. Wasn't there some sort of potential legal action because they were like, Chris?
How did people know about this happening?
No, because he was like, it's damaging the brand.
Oh, like defamation?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Never came to anything because, of course, it was true.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it wasn't damaging my brand, but did you do it?
yeah. So, no, I mean, we are only. It's a joke. Like, it wasn't a huge amount. You know, that amount of money over the cost cap is not going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like, people really blow this out of proportion.
Yeah, definitely.
It's easy to take. It's easy to make fun of. I was going to swear. Are we allowed to swear on this?
I don't know.
It's easy to take the piss out of, but we're going to find out now.
Yeah.
But it was such a small amount of money that it doesn't really make any difference. Yeah. Someone's accidentally just put another 0 on a check somewhere, and they've gone over.
Oh no! I accidentally ordered caviar.
Yeah, like the Ferrari champagne. But no, it is funny because it's Red Bull with cost cap stuff. You know what? Mercedes with Lewis Hamilton stuff. Yeah, that's big right now, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's going to be announced in the next...
I think it could be today. It might even be now. It's 12:30. It's 12:30 right now. And they've said that the contract between Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, Toto Wolff has said that it's going to be signed before Canada.
He said they're trying very hard to get it signed before Canada. But, I mean...
And to paper, guys.
They clearly both want to sign an extension. So... I don't know what's taking so long, what's making it so complicated. Obviously, money will be a factor of that, negotiations and whatnot.
Yes.
But I wonder if there will be... there was that rumour at the beginning of the year where it was something like he was going to sign an extension for 2 years or whatever. But beyond that, within that same extension contract, he would be an ambassador for like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because... Hamilton is more than just a racing driver. We've said this in the last podcast. He is more than just a racing driver. He is a great driver, but more than anything, he is arguably the face of the sport still.
Yeah.
Like Schumacher was before him. Yeah. And I expect if Max does more PR stuff, because I'm not saying that Max isn't the face of the sport. I'm just saying he doesn't care so much about the PR stuff.
Yeah.
Which I actually really like.
Though. I think he's being a bit more open.
Yeah, but that's the difference between Hamilton and Max, is that Hamilton was like, he loved the limelight and he was so good at it, and he did all the interviews and he did all the brand deals and all that. Max is like, can I just race please? Yeah. Which I love personally. Yeah. But yeah, you're right, Hamilton is more than a racing driver. He is a brand ambassador, and I'm sure his contract will have something to do with that. Yeah. And all the charities that he and Mercedes have together.
That's the thing. They've both said that he doesn't really want to go anywhere else. If he announced that now, that would be the biggest curveball ever. Yeah. But he's got so much more with Mercedes. It's not just a driver relationship. They've got the Accelerate 25 program. Obviously, that's close to Hamilton's heart. He's very passionate about all of that. There's no way he's going to change.
Yeah. He will stay at Mercedes, 100%.
I love that he definitely had took the opportunity to just,
sprinkle in a bit of headline.
Yeah, it was great for us. But when he was like, obviously he's fighting for his 8th championship, isn't he? And Mercedes haven't been able to provide a car in the last 2 years that have, are going to put him up there and being able to fight for that. So he's only going to, if he was to move, go somewhere where he's going to have a competitive car.
That rules out Ferrari.
Yeah, he's not going to move to Red Bull, is he? Could you imagine Max and Lewis as a driver lineup? That would be carnage.
That would be a season to watch.
It would be.
If I was F1,
Benicali's probably like, do it.
Yeah, if I was F1, I'd pay Red Bull to do it. Like Bernie Ecclestone paid Mercedes. To I think he paid half of Hamilton's contract.
Yeah, because they were a lower down team when he moved there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But I did quite like when he said that he quite fancies going back and ending his career where he started at McLaren. Poetic. I love it.
The McLarens
it's like a Nicholas Sparks movie.
The McLaren would have to go back to their silver livery.
Yeah.
I don't think Hamilton can be seen in a car. Well, it's just the branding is way. The papaya is so bad.
Oh, I quite like
I hate it. I hate the orange.
At least so many of the cars look so similar now. At least it looks different.
Yeah, no, I get that. I love the white and orange and black livery. That
the triple crown.
Amazing. Yeah, the triple crown livery is great. But I hate the full papaya, and they're going back to that this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Let us know down in the comments, out of 10, how much you like or dislike. Let's say how much you like. 1 dislike, 10 love it. In the comments below of the papaya McLaren livery.
I don't know if it offends you so much.
Just don't like the orange.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I grew up with the silver McLarens.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's nostalgic. It's kind of an iconic livery, but...
And it's gross. I mean, I think the thing is as well is that with these papaya McLarens have just been a bit crap.
Yeah, so it's like
there's that connection as well.
Yeah, it's like looking at the W13. Well, unless you're you, and apparently you love it for some strange reason.
Yeah.
You look at it and you're like, oh, that was a terrible car.
No, I know. Still love it though.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, I mean, surely if I love the W13, I should love the papaya orange because they're both crap.
Your brain is a strange place.
Maybe.
I mean, he's not going to go back anyway. But it's a nice idea.
I would like him to move to a team where the car isn't so good. I know the Mercedes right now isn't great, but it's still, I mean, let's face it, it's still like a top 3, top 4 car. But, a lot of people are like, oh, Hamilton only won because of the car. And that is partly true.
Yeah.
You cannot win with a bad... can't say that.
Well,
Driving the best car helps the best driver win.
Yeah, it's the same with Max. He's winning and he has got the best car, but he is also an incredible driver. And that's exactly what it was with Hamilton.
Yeah.
But obviously, they had such a long stretch of dominating the sport that everyone's like, oh. But I think that's another reason for him to stay at Mercedes. Because...
So he can show that he can get them back to where...
And how does that look if you've been with Mercedes through all the years that they've been at the top of the sport?
And then leave them when they take...
As soon as they struggle, he's like, see ya. That doesn't look very good.
No.
And I think that not proves the critics right, but... kind of leans in their favour.
Yeah, it kind of proves the theory, doesn't it?
Yeah, that he's only good in a fast car.
Do you know something interesting that came out a couple of days ago?
Go on.
Max talked about moving to Ferrari.
I saw that.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So it was all kind of, theoretical kind of, just kind of building on ideas. And he said, look, the dream team, obviously it's Ferrari. They've got the history... They've got the legendary status. And he says, really, the one thing I want from any team is a fast car. It's the fastest car ever. And, Red Bull's giving him that right now. But maybe after the Red Bull contract comes to an end, he's going to be 31. He did say that he wants to leave at that point and do other racing.
Well, he might leave, yeah.
I completely understand that. Yeah. That's a long time. He started, 17 years old?
Yeah.
So, who would stay in a job for that long? That's the thing. Like, I know people... Don't fire us. I think like that is the thing, though, isn't it? Like, he's been doing this... He will have been doing that for 14 years.
Yeah.
That's the same role for 14 years.
Yeah.
I don't think many people would do that in life.
I mean, I think the difference is that it's a physical role. Like, if he wants to go and do other racing, like he said he has, the longer he leaves that, the less of a chance of performing well in those areas.
Totally. He's going to leave while he's still in his peak performance phase, isn't he?
Yeah. And then, retire early and eat carbs.
Yeah, get fat.
Yeah.
I can tell him how to do that. I can teach him. Just hang out with me for a few days. He'll be great. Yeah, Max, that's an open invitation. I'm happy to show you the ways. Yeah.
Pasta, pizza.
Pasta, pizza, pasta on pizza, pizza on pasta. Yep.
But I do think, just go back away from the carbs before we get into that.
If we have to.
I do think a lot of the drivers go into the sport thinking, oh, if I could drive for Ferrari one day. Like,
of course.
It's so iconic.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me. Although I think he's very well suited to Red Bull and how they operate and the team and everything.
Yeah, the thing that strikes me about Red Bull is they're very forward thinking, aren't they? They're very innovative, and they come across as a very modern, new, you know, all their social media stuff. They're all very much innovating everything they do.
Yeah.
And Red Bull as a brand has been like that.
Yeah.
You know, all of their kind of, all of their crazy sports and the social media coverage of that, it's always been very forward-facing and innovative. And Ferrari, in comparison, is exactly the opposite. They rely on their heritage. You know, you look at their social media and it's like, oh, Leclerc's topless again. Anything else? You know, and then you look at Red Bull and they're doing crazy stuff with their drivers.
Yeah. It helps that they've got Daniel Ricciardo for that.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, he's so loved and he's such a personality. But
it's great as well because Ricciardo almost brings out the best of Max and Checo.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, Checo, I feel, is maybe like a bit more reserved, a bit more kind of, you know, he's not too bothered by that stuff. But then he gets in a group with Max and Ricciardo and he's laughing his head off, making really funny comments and like just making the most of it. And it's so nice to see those drivers do that as well. Because, you know, like I said before, Max isn't overly PR orientated. Neither is Checo. But Danny Rick comes in. He's like, let's have a laugh, fellas.
Yeah.
In your best Australian accent.
I feel like we might need to talk about these accents after this.
Maybe. And just something happens. And it's like, this is the best. Like Danny Rick just needs to do social media for F1 as a whole, not just Red Bull. He's so good.
I think you're definitely right. Daniel Ricciardo joining the team as the third driver has done wonders for Max in terms of his public appearance and everything. He said himself that, you know, he felt it was unfair the way he was portrayed in Drive to Survive. He's now come back. They seem to have worked that out. But like you say, he wasn't interested in doing all the PR and, you know, the fun games that they get some of the drivers to do.
Yeah.
He just wants to race, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
And something we really like about him. But I think it has helped.
Definitely.
It was getting quite extreme. I mean, some fans are still very extreme. But it was, I don't know, I just like all the booing and things like that when he wants it so unnecessary. And I think this will only help.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes across the board. The booing is mad.
It's just ridiculous.
But grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up. And, you know, there are very few sports where that's accepted.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually kind of like, you know, you get a lot of booing and chanting, whatever, at football games.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other sports where you have booing.
Yeah, I mean, we don't watch all these.
Yeah, but like, you don't get it in snooker, do you? Like, it's one of those things where it's so rare because there needs to be a mutual respect. People need to remember that these drivers are literally putting their lives on the line. Like, we've seen what happens when this goes wrong.
Yeah.
How would you feel? Maybe some people aren't bothered by this, but how would you feel if you were booing a driver who then crashed in that race and died?
Yeah.
Like, I know that's an extreme, but how would that make you feel? I find that crazy. And, you know, regardless of who your favourite driver is, don't boo. It's so stupid, so immature.
It's just disrespectful, really, isn't it? I do think your point, though, about Max mentioning potentially going to Ferrari brings up the same question with Hamilton.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I really don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
we're clutching at straws
if we
for stories, guys.
It. There is, you know, the whole driving for an iconic team.
Yes.
He's not, and you know, there's been the rumours of maybe a seat swap with him and Charles Leclerc. There's also been rumours of him driving alongside Charles Leclerc, but then it's like, what happens to Carlos?
Back to Formula 2 for you. No, I'm joking.
I'm like,
joking. I think Carlos is very, very good at a Ferrari.
I think they've got a really good driver lineup. It's
great.
just they need to sort out.
It's actually one of the best on the grid, which you'd expect from Ferrari. But if they had proper strategy and a good car, they'd be unbeatable.
Yeah.
Like, they are both very talented drivers. Charles Leclerc is starting to make mistakes, though. He's starting to overdrive the car because he wants to win that badly.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
No.
But he needs to get a hold of that. Sorry, carry on.
But Hamilton moving to Ferrari, he'd be in a similar situation where he is right now, except with a team that he doesn't know and hasn't built a decade-long relationship with. Max moving, in a way, I can kind of see it.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah.
To the point where he's not racing at the moment because he just puts his foot down. He's at the front. They're all 20 seconds behind him. And he's not having the fun battles and things like that.
Oh, so you're saying that he's going to move so he's in a worse car and he can actually enjoy the racing again?
Potentially.
No, not a chance.
Or I was more saying to have a project, like I don't know, just make it more interesting.
Knowing Max, he'd drive for both teams at the same time.
Yeah, just jump out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Lamar. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to move, and I don't think Hamilton's going to move, but it's fun.
It's fun to
think about.
I mean, it's been such a slow week.
Yeah.
It's been one of the slowest weeks I've ever known in F1. Nothing has happened.
No.
It's
which
all.
In some ways, is very nice.
I suppose
But,
so.
they need a break as much as everybody in the industry needs a little break here and there.
Yeah.
But
next week is going to be so much more interesting because well, it's Canada. Canada's a great track. It's technical. It's low drag. It's going to be really, really great.
I love how excited you're getting about this.
It's only because I've really been nailing it on F1 22.
Oh, here we go.
And I am like...
I'm basically an F1 driver.
I mean, just give me the call, Adrian, Helmut Marko. Just give me the call. Me and Max... He'd probably wipe the floor with me. Well, probably. He would wipe the floor with me.
No, probably about it.
No, not at all. Have you seen my stomach? Yeah, I'd be right over the weight limit.
You'd be like, I don't take this wrong way. You know, in the trailer for the new Grand Tour episode, Jeremy Clarkson gets stuck.
Oh, yes. Jeremy Clarkson and Alpine, they did a thing, didn't they? Jeremy Clarkson promised Alpine that if they got a podium position, then the pints are on him. Well, they did, and he pulled through.
I turned up in true Jeremy Clarkson style. Lamborghini tractor, trailer on the back. Yeah. Full of his own brand beer.
Yeah, Hawkston. I need to try some, actually. And we need to go to Dudley Squad. So, okay, let's finish the podcast on some advice. Then we've got 22 races this year. Obviously, that includes Imola's cancellation. What to watch in between races? The Grand Tour, there's loads of it. Clarkson's Farm, bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
James May, our man in Japan.
Yeah. Just quickly, there is no paid partnership with Prime Video. However,
no, but these
are on Prime Video.
Yes, but this is like great content that people who are interested in cars and travelling will love. And farming.
And farm.
All right. So that was that. It's been a long day already, and it's only 1 o'clock. There'll be more next week. And you can find us next week on your favourite podcast providers. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, and more. Also YouTube, if you search for Driven Mad Podcast, we are there, I promise. Someone messaged me saying, I can't find you on YouTube. Just YouTube, literally just search Driven Mad Podcast. We are right at the top. Subscribe if you do find us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. I never do that personally, but you can do. It's an option. You must do it. You must. If you do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do it, I'll do it. Thanks so much for joining me today, Lydia.
No problem.
Where can you find you on Twitter and Instagram?
Oh, at Lydia Me F1.
You can find me at Alex Does F1 because sometimes I do F1.
In the simulator. On the game.
On the go.
Not in real life.
We need to post some videos of that. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next podcast later next week. Canada.
Oh, Canada.